Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn with Sam and Ash. In this video, we're going to solve an issue which has been mostly discussed in our chat box. Now imagine yourself in a conference room, all eyes and ears are on you. You feel this pressure to speak and make yourself noticeable. Your manager has told you multiple times in the past that you need to speak more in meetings and that you need to contribute more to these meetings. Now, the issue that we are talking about today is how can I solve this nervousness every time I have to attend a meeting or a conference call? In that situation, you try to say something, but you can't think of a single word to break the silence. Your mind is blank, and you realize how embarrassing this situation has become with every passing moment. You're very nervous and conscious of yourself than you were before. And this happens whenever you wish to speak in meetings or conference call. If you have been in this situation, this video will be really helpful for you. Remember, a similar situation can happen during job interviews, which we will be discussing in our upcoming videos. Let us quickly take a moment and click on that subscribe button, which is waiting for you desperately, and also the bell icon for more updates on our channel every now and then. Please remember, this video will be divided into two phases. The first phase we're going to discuss why do we get nervous, and in the second phase we'll understand how can I solve this issue. So the first phase is, why do I get nervous in office meetings? There are many reasons for meeting anxiety, and you may fall into one of these categories. You're naturally shy or introverted. You may have a fear of public speaking. And believe it or not, at any point of our life, we all have been in this situation. We might be uncomfortable around our co-workers. If you are new to this company, this is a genuine reason. You may be afraid of being judged because of your poor speaking skills. And that's why we all have joined Learn with Sam and Ash to solve each of these issues. And lastly, you have social anxiety. That gets triggered in meetings and conference call. It is normal to feel this way when it comes to meetings or any social gathering. You are under stress and in a panic situation. Your brain and body are supposed to create a hostile environment, and eventually you will lack the words to handle a single sentence in English. You may experience the following symptoms of anxiety. There might be a chance that you have a racing heartbeat. There might be a chance that you have shaky voice. There might be a chance that your hands started shaking. And there is a lot of negative self-talk. Worry and fear are an additional character that is added whenever we are put under pressure and whenever we have to expose ourselves. Now let's turn to phase 2. When we are already aware of why we get nervous in meetings and what kind of symptoms can be looked upon, let's find out how can I solve these issues. Before we dive into the solution, we must accept that this is a slow process and it takes a few hours of hard work at home to feel confident in meetings. Instead of giving up in this whole process and in the middle, remind yourself you need to see it through, and the impact these hours can have on you are unimaginable. There are a few things that you need to do before the meeting, during the session, and after the meeting. Let me repeat it. Before meeting, during meeting, and after the meeting. So let's start with what I can do before the meeting. How can I prepare myself before the meeting? It will be 100% positive step if you prepare your notes and suggestions for the meeting beforehand. Maybe a night before would be really helpful. Let's say you know the agenda for tomorrow's meeting. You are already prepared. And the night before that, you can invest a few hours noting down the points and rehearsing the possible sentences to tackle that point. Knowing beforehand what to say gives you an advantage over the rest of the crowd in the meeting. And I have done it several times in my life where I have prepared myself a night before, and when I went into the meeting, I have started the discussions, I have finished the part, and I have let other people speak after me. What happens this way that you solve the panic attack before even it strikes you before the meeting or during the meeting. In addition, you can also practice a little bit of a self-talk before entering into the room. You can tell yourself, I'm ready for this. I can handle the room and the people in it. Say it as if you mean it. And when you give yourself this positivity through a self-talk, you're actually doing it while having a few deep breaths, and you will be more confident to make mistakes. It's totally acceptable. If you don't have an answer, you can say, I don't have the answer at the moment, but I will follow up on this with my team to get back to you. Say it with authority. Say it with as if I own the situation. Now let's talk about few situations or few things that you can do during the meeting. As I already mentioned, to avoid meeting jitters, start the meeting yourself. Handle nervousness with caution before it becomes a problem. Setting small goals for yourself is essential to avoid being the last one to speak and feel worthless. So why don't we speak first and feel that as if we have done something? You can speak in the first 10 minutes of the meeting or when there is a section for follow-ups. So what I'm trying to say here is that prepare yourself that this is the part where I want to speak. If you're starting as the first person in that meeting, you can start the meeting with few sentences. First one, I welcome each one of you to discuss today's agenda for the meeting. We will start with la la la. Next, please share a few more details about the previous meeting. Third, you can also offer an opinion. You can say, after last week's meeting, I got a chance to talk to our customers and they think it will be a good idea to add this new feature before the new launch. This way you will know exactly what to discuss and when you are ready to speak. So there is no pressure now. There is no guidance from people that this is where you should speak. In this, English will become a secondary issue. You need to practice at home and let yourself go ahead and take control of that meeting. Now let's talk about few possible things that you can do to enhance your confidence after the meeting. When you have come out of that meeting room, you will automatically feel relaxed. Putting yourself in front of the crowd will give you the confidence to go up there next time, but in a more prepared manner. This is the best way you will show that you take your work seriously and make thoughtful contributions. After that meeting, get back to your desk and take 5 minutes to understand what was left unanswered from your side. Get your work done on those points before the next meeting. Now you have already controlled the before meeting, you know what to say in the meeting, and you have already made yourself prepared for the next meeting. Sometimes knowing what we need to say in fewer words can help avoid anxiety and stress. Remember this, everything we have just talked about in these videos involving handling every meeting more maturely and reducing the chances of nervousness, this is the thing that you can take as serious as you can. It may take multiple failed attempts before you get it right. Failing doesn't mean you must stop. It only means you must work hard at home when no one is there in the room. Self-preparation on the meeting agenda has benefited many of my students. I hope this has helped you too, and I hope we get a chance to catch up later. But before we do that, why don't we subscribe the channel if you have not already done it? And why don't you quickly click on that bell icon so that every time we are here with a new video, you will be the first one to know about it. Thank you so much.